Hello, everybody. We are live down here at Suds Tavern for the third episode of the second season. We've already reached our total episode from last season, John, which is pretty good. I mean,
In one episode?
in 1 month actually.
I'm surprised we're still here and they let us still do it, so I'm
I know.
excited.
Well, we keep bringing in former BSU legends like Bryan Johnson.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, great. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks
Do you
for
want me
having
to give him a proper
Yeah,
introduction?
this
or-
is how we do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I come with like the sloppy one, and John nails it after. So.
I try.
Yeah.
If I get anything wrong here, Brian, you can correct me, okay?
All right.
Brian Johnson, formerly of Highland High, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Highland Rams.
Boise State Bronco, a linebacker at Boise State, correct? I didn't write down your number. That's on me.
34?
34.
That
Yeah.
is what it is. And then a fullback in the NFL, playing for the Washington Redskins and the Chicago Bears. Yes.
Yep, that's right.
All right. That was not one of my better ones, so I apologize for that.
Well, you got all the facts right.
I did. I can read Wikipedia very well,
Yeah.
so it's one of my talents here. So, Brian, welcome to the show. Have you been watching Boise State this year at all?
Yeah, I actually went to the last home game. That was a lot of fun.
The defensive struggle?
Well, the defense looked good, man. Second half, that was awesome.
No, I mean defensive. The game at the
Yeah.
defensive struggle. It started off with a bang there. And
Yeah,
then not
yeah.
much.
That's right.
So, your thoughts on this year's team? I don't know whether to address you as an offense or defensive guy. I guess you're a man of many talents.
That's right. I even played special teams, too. So if we can talk about the third aspect, special
All
teams,
three.
if you want. But, no, I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
all three phases.
It's
That's
your
right.
show, Brian.
That's
Anything
right.
you want to
Yeah.
chat about, let's do it.
And, I think they're coming out strong. I think like everyone talks about the blue collar at Boise State and believing in themselves. And I think that's what this team is all about. You can tell that they believe in themselves, not overly cocky in a way, but they know they can take care of business when they need to.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty evident this year. I mean, a very resilient team. Would you credit that to the coach or maybe the recruiting? I mean, a little of both.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of both. I think it's just kind of been the underlying attitude at Boise State. We've had quite a few different coaches come in and leave, or maybe use Boise State as a stepping stone to move on. But the mentality at Boise State has been the same.
Yeah, I mean it seems like maybe the last couple of years they've gotten them away from that from the outside looking in. But this year's team, I mean, it just has that feel of one of those teams early in the season.
Yes, it does. It's going to be a fun year to watch the Broncos.
What do you think of this freshman? I like to call him Buckmeyer.
Yeah.
I like to say it like that. I mean, that's his name, but that's how I like to say it. But what do you think of him?
Well, I think he's doing great. I really haven't watched a lot of the off-season stuff, and I've only seen what he's done in the games, and he's performing and playing. I think if I was going to give him any advice, it'd make sure he protects himself. It's going to be a long season, and I felt like there was a few shots last game where he could have avoided, maybe going for another half yard. I like that mentality, but still, we would like him to be our quarterback for the whole season.
Yeah, let's save it for one of the bigger games of the year, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, I think that comes with more experience. I think he'll get it's kind of weird when you're a competitor to give up on a play or to throw the ball away or run out of bounds.
You're right. It doesn't feel natural, when you're out there trying to do as best as you can, and then maybe slide and dive. So it doesn't really feel natural to a competitor, but we would like him to stay healthy this year.
Well, yeah, I was never a super athlete, so they could get me to slide whenever, run right out of bounds. Probably why I didn't play very long, or at all.
Yeah.
Jason, anything you'd like to add down there?
Yeah, Brian. I was just thinking back to my freshman year at the 1999 team. That was your final. Was that your final season?
Yep, that was my
Yeah.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody remembers that was the year that Paul Rain had passed away, and you were a leader on the defense that year, and on the team for that matter. And for that to happen was just so crushing to all of us. And the way that we rebounded in the second half of the season really has been the tone, or not and even in the second half, just after the first 3 games, we won the last 10 in a row, right?
Right.
That must have
Right.
felt really good going out in your senior season like that, winning the first bowl game and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, it did. It felt really good. We all knew that we were a special group of guys that recruit. It was the first recruiting class for Pokie Allen in '96. We had some guys that did not redshirt and some guys that did, but I felt like that was the first big recruiting class so that everyone stayed, and we were there for all the 4 years, and then to be able to win my senior year, was just amazing.
Saw the transition from 1AA to 1A. It happened during your tenure.
That's right. My first year was the first year we were 1A.
Oh, okay. Got it. So it
So
happened with you.
96.
Yeah.
Yep, 96.
That's another fun fact we have here. Another
Yeah.
another missed fact.
One more.
Yep. No, and I want to say I think you did a great job in honoring Paul too last week, and then doing services and stuff in California. I think that was really good. I still remember seeing his big smile. We had a team meeting my senior year, and I think it was like our second team meeting, and we used to meet in the wrestling room because we didn't have really a facility to have everybody in the same place at once. So we were all in the wrestling room, and I remember Paul coming in, and I think the seniors got chairs and nobody else did. I was sitting in a chair, and he came and sat down right next to me, and he had this big old smile. So I'll never forget his smile for the rest of my life.
Yeah. It was one of the more defining factors of him and his personality, just being that big, smiling, gentle guy. But then when he wasn't smiling, then you had to, it was a different story.
That's right. It was game on.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Thank you for that. We put a lot of work into bringing Carolyn out and making sure that her family was taken care of and seen to properly while they were here. So, they had a great time. Just want to thank again the people over at the Alumni Association and the Varsity B, Brad LaRondo, Brian McMartin, Taylor Tharp was instrumental, Bart Hendricks, our guest last week. They were all big time in helping us make that come about. So thanks to all those guys, and they're even planning a family vacation to come up here again as a family to spend some more time.
Oh, that's great.
Because we didn't get to float the river. It was past river float season.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's good. They are family, and that's one thing with Boise State. We are a family.
absolutely. So
And they got to see a win. A little bit of a nail biter, but they got to see a win there.
had a little feedback.
A little reverb. Is that what was going on?
Maybe it's my braces, huh?
I was
Running
going to say,
interference
What
here.
kind of 41-year-olds wears braces?
man,
Me,
I don't know.
I guess.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Is it a
a lot of
choice
people-
or was this
Yeah,
forced
no,
upon you?
No, I need to. Yep. Correct my overbite.
oh
See,
wow,
see.
that sounds painful.
I know it does. Let's move on. We're looking for sponsors, though. Any dentists out there that want to, throw us some dollars, that'd be fine. We'll mention you at will. Are you all right over there?
Yeah,
You got
we're
everything
good.
monitored?
I'm
All
just
right.
making sure everything's not.
Sorry,
blowing
I
up
want to
over
point
here.
out that as we do the show, if it looks like we're not paying attention or we're doing all the jobs. So,
Yeah.
like studio monitor, fact checker, we're terrible at that. I don't know, Ryan. You want a job? You want to come down and volunteer?
Yeah, well, I have been doing a lot of volunteer stuff lately. I like to volunteer for my church over at St. Mark's, and that's where my kids went to school at St. Mark's Elementary. And one just graduated from Bishop Kelly, and now she's at Boise State. My daughter Olivia.
Carrying on the tradition.
That's right. And
Did you force her to go there, or did you let her make her own decision?
no,
Is
she
this-
actually wanted to try and go somewhere else, just because she wanted to get out and kind of get out away from the mom and dad and stuff. But we went and looked at other schools, Oregon, Washington, and stuff, and she realized how good it is here at Boise State. So
So is she actually on campus?
she is,
living on
yeah,
campus?
she's staying on campus, doing the whole dorm thing, and
Maybe we can get a dorm review from her, because I've always wanted to see it. They're upgrading everything at Boise State. I would hope the dorms are being upgraded.
I hope so. Most of them are. She's staying in Chaffee, and I think it looks the same as
wow.
when I was there. It still smells the same, that's for
Oh
sure.
man. So much So many good and bad memories in that fight.
Right.
Oh man. So we had Brad Phillips on the show last week, and he was a big fan of the movie Tommy Boy,
Oh yeah.
and I know that that was a common thread amongst our whole team throughout any Chris Farley movie. Really good to see you and remember those guys, and trying to get a hold of Derek Ollie as well to try to get him on the show because he's another Pocatello guy, right?
That's right. He's from P-Town.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, did your family know that aren't the Cutters from Pocatello also?
They are. The Cutters are from Pocatello.
And did you know their family at all?
Well, Dirk's brother Brent was my high school head coach.
Oh yeah.
So I
Came
did.
out and coached at Boise State after you left too, A or something like
Yep.
that.
Yep. That's right.
So is that how you were recruited here? Basically, you were on the radar in high school from the.
Yeah, but that was before Dirk was here.
Oh, he
So
wasn't here yet.
He wasn't
No.
here yet.
Okay.
So yeah.
Pokey, you said recruited you, right?
Yeah, that's right. Pokey Allen recruited me.
So it's just a weird coincidence. Your high school coach and his brother becomes your college coach. Is this?
That's right. Yeah, weird coincidence. He was at Boston College before he came over. So
Okay, so we always ask how you became a Bronco. That's one of our questions we like to ask. So take us through. There are a lot of schools. Did you know this was a school? Take us through your recruiting process.
well, I had never been to a Boise State game until I got recruited from Boise State. Even though I lived in Pocatello, just went to Idaho State games, and I was recruited by all the Idaho schools. Got a full ride scholarship offer from all the Idaho schools.
So you could have been a vandal.
I
Huh?
could have been a vandal, yeah. Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball, though. I went up there on a unofficial recruiting trip, and they didn't have any of my information down or know that I was there. And
Made you feel welcome. Huh?
yeah.
Who are you and what are you doing here?
Exactly. And so it took a while to figure that out. And then the night I actually decided to go to Boise State, Pokey Allen was at my house, and I'm kind of jumping ahead in the process, but it was kind of funny because I had just told him that, you know what, I want to go to Boise State. And maybe 10 minutes later, the coach from Idaho called. And
Like he heard.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah. And then he was like, oh, sorry. And then I actually handed the phone to Pokey, and he talked to the coach for a little bit. I think just to kind of,
Rub it
kinda
in.
rub it in.
In
Yeah,
a
it's
nice
like,
way,
hey,
though. Like-
yeah, you gotta show up at their house, not just make a phone call.
So that was the determining factor there, the home visit.
That was that was part of it.
Did he eat dinner at your house? I always wonder this.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of movies. So.
No, not like that. No, I really like Pokey. He was down to earth. I think he had a vision for Boise State, and I feel like his vision is coming true. He back in the day we didn't have a lot of money. We were lucky if we got one ESPN game a year, maybe every other year.
Uh-huh.
And so he made like these diagrams, what he envisioned Boise State Stadium looking like, and he had to do it all himself, or maybe have someone draw it up in maybe the Boise State's design department or something. We didn't have the funds for it, but he said, "This is my vision," and I feel like it's coming true.
So he's a very, very forward thinker here.
Yeah.
Set
Yep.
the stage.
Right.
That's a good story. I like that. So you came up to campus. Was it like a culture shock, or did it seem natural to you?
No, it seemed really natural. There were quite a few Idaho guys that came the same year as me. I think I kind of mentioned that recruiting class, that '96 recruiting class. We're all really close, and so I think that's what just felt welcome.
So a lot more. I mean, I wasn't here then. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know my history. So a lot more in-state play, a lot of local talent, a lot of more Idaho players on the team back then.
Ooh, I don't know how many actually were on the team, so I can't really compare the numbers. But I know there's Ross Ferris, Keith Dilworth, me. I think there's a handful of Idaho guys.
I just bring that up because it seems like they just had I forget his name, an Idaho running back. He transferred, and it seems like, since they've jumped up to the school they are today, a lot more, out-of-state guys, California, Texas, up here. and just not as many of the local guys, for whatever reason, are on the team
Yeah.
um,
One
from
of
the
the
area.
one of the reasons just could be population. Idaho and Boise is still smaller compared to other states, and just having the numbers, just the plain numbers of uh, players, and then how many players are you going to find within that amount?
Oh no, I mean I understand that. It's just there's usually one or two guys that stick out in high school football here a year, and to keep them home, I mean it just adds to the allure. I think of
Yeah,
of
I
the
know there's
program.
been quite a few guys that coming out of Highland going to some other schools. I wish I wouldn't have. So I think there's one guy went to Oregon and Ohio State, and it is. I think it is nice to keep the Idaho guys here at Boise State.
Thanks. Are you okay over there?
Yeah, we're having a little bit of feedback on the stream. So we're just tweaking the audio levels a little bit. I
Okay.
just heard that Coach Koetter is available for us on the Bronco hotline. You guys
All
are ready
right.
to dial him up.
Let's do it.
All right, here
Yeah.
we go.
You ready?
Hello, Coach Koetter. We're live right now on the podcast, live on YouTube. So we are ready to go. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay, sounds good. We got, first of all, it's me, Jason Turner. We have my co-host John Hannigan, and our guest today is in on location is Bryan Johnson. So
Hey, Coach, how you
Nice.
doing?
welcome to the show, Coach.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you having me.
And now I'm going to shoot it over to John to bring you on properly.
That's a lot of pressure for me.
Yeah.
Dirk Koetter, excuse me, offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, former BSU coach. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We heard a rumor here your son is playing on the blue. So we're going to start with the obvious question: your feelings. How does that make you feel? Is it full circle? Just talk about your thoughts about the game tonight.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. He called me earlier today, and they were down in the what used to be the home locker room when I was there, and he said what a weird feeling it was to be in that locker room when they were going through their walkthrough. So I'm excited for him. It's going to be a great experience for him. They're big underdogs tonight. Boise State's got a much better team. Boise State's a powerhouse, and Portland State's a improving FCS team. But I'm real excited for him to have the opportunity.
We'll get to see where he stands against Division I talent here. He's a wide receiver. Is that correct?
Yeah, he started off there as a cornerback, but they got him playing wide receiver right now.
I saw he's had a pretty good year so far. I saw he's had a 100-yard game, I believe. Looking that up. Obviously, you're his father, so you know a little bit better than us.
Yeah, they played two games so far. They opened the season down at Arkansas, and they lost a real close game right at the end, and then they blew out Simon Fraser last week, and Simon Fraser's not quite the caliber of the team they're going to be playing tonight.
Coach, Jason here. I just wanted to say again to you that 20 years ago, this last August was when the accident happened with Paul, and we had Carolyn on the show last week, and they had her as a captain of the game, and her sibling and Paul's siblings as well. And I just wanted to thank you again because the way you handled that situation, and I know you've said it before that it was the hardest thing you've ever had to do as a coach and in your life, period. The way you handled that was the perfect example for us young men on the team that year. I think Bryan can speak to that. And thank you for that. And specifically all the personal advice you gave me surrounding that was really helpful in my life. And I just wanted to personally thank you on the show. Thank you very much, Coach.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Jason. Obviously, it's crazy that 20 years have passed since that terrible accident happened with Paul, and a tragic accident. Um, it really puts everything else about football in perspective.
Yeah.
But that was just a very difficult situation, and I appreciate the way Paul's family, especially his mother and father, handled it at the time. And um, as you guys know, we went on to have a pretty good season that year. But that's something I'll never forget, and I'm sure that goes the same for all the guys that were there.
Thank you very much. And thank you for your time. I'm sure you're terribly busy with the middle of your NFL football season, and we're well aware of that. And thank you again for your time and stopping in. And any other thoughts? When are you going to get back to Boise? Anytime soon?
Well, someday we're gonna build a house and retire in Boise, so it's not too far down the road. But we gotta finish out this NFL thing and
Oh yeah.
try to get Atlanta back into Super Bowl and win it. We got a big one tomorrow night against the Eagles, Sunday Night Football, and we didn't play very good last week against Minnesota, so we're looking to rebound tomorrow night against Philly.
100%. Go Falcons.
Hey, Coach, this is Brian Johnson here. I got a question for you.
Hey, Bryan, how you doing?
Hey, doing well. So, everyone still loves Kellen Moore here in Boise, and everyone's excited to see him be the OC over at Dallas. Do you have any advice that you could give Kellen as a young OC?
Yeah, it sounds like he's off to a great start. I watched the tape of their game against the Giants last week, and he really had them rolling.
Hmm.
Obviously Kellen was a terrific player and the son of a coach, so he's been around coaching his whole life. A very smart guy, and I guess my advice would just be yourself. Keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, he's prepared well, and I'm sure he's going to do very well in the NFL.
Yeah, that's great. I feel like everywhere he goes, everyone loves him, and there might be a time where he doesn't have quite the season he wanted. Is there any advice you can give him uh, to help him with the haters?
Well, don't listen to him. Don't listen to the haters, because no matter what you do, there's a certain percentage of the people that are going to hate you.
Yeah,
And in the NFL, the 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 parity of the talent is unbelievable. So it's you're probably only one team's ever gone undefeated, and it's just hard to. You're talking about the best players in the world and the best coaches in the world.
right.
So it's hard to be the man every single week. And so I just say trust yourself and don't listen to the haters. You drive yourself crazy.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
We're going to take that advice with our podcast too, Coach, if you don't mind.
That's probably good advice for
Yeah.
anyone.
What else was there? Oh yeah. You're the first NFL head coach we've ever had on the show. Just maybe can I ask you real quick what that job, how different that is than being an offensive coordinator, and what your experience was like with that briefly.
Yeah,
You have a
yeah,
minute.
sure. Well, yeah, I mean, being an offensive coordinator is a great job because you only have to worry about half of the team, and when you're a head coach, you have to worry about offense, defense, special teams, as well as personnel, as well as talk to the media every day. So, being a head coach in the NFL is a great experience, and it's something I'm tremendously lucky that I got the opportunity to do it, and love the experience. But being an offensive coordinator and being involved in game planning and coaching a guy like Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman, that's an awesome experience as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. What else? What else you got for us before you roll out? Do you have any special message to all the Bronco fans out there and former players?
Yeah, well, I'm a big Bronco fan. I try to watch every week, and we got a former player coaching the Broncos in Bryan, and I think Hars has done a great job there. And there's been so many former players that have have come through there, and guys that are coaching all around the country. I think it's really exciting. You guys were a part of it. We had a great group of guys, and to follow the success of the guys that I got to coach, and that Hawk got to coach, and then Pete got to coach, and I think Harsh is doing a great job, and everybody should give him his full support.
Thanks, Coach. Well, I think we're running up close to the end of the time that you have, and I don't want to run you over. I'd rather cut you a little shorter than to run it, unless these guys have any further questions that we can wrap up real quick in 5
Just
minutes.
one last question.
Okay.
Where will you be watching the game tonight, Coach?
Well, I'm at the JW Marriott in Buckhead in downtown Atlanta. That's where our team hotel is. So I'll be trying to stay awake. It doesn't start till 10:30 our time, so hopefully I can stay awake that late.
Well, good luck staying awake, and good luck to your son. I hope it goes well
All right,
tonight.
guys. Hey, good luck on the podcast. I hope you get it going, and it's a lot of fun for you.
We appreciate your
Okay,
time.
Thanks for having me
thanks,
on, guys.
Coach.
All right,
Yeah.
take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Coach.
Bye.
See you.
That was Coach Dirk Koetter taking time out of, I guess, Saturday night. Saturday night is a pretty important night in the NFL, taking some time, but obviously he will be watching the game tonight for various
Ladies and
reasons.
gentlemen, we're having some trouble with the podcast. Apparently, the phone call was not streaming properly. I'm not sure as to why, but we're just going to carry on with the show anyways, and then
Keep moving on.
we'll post it again with everything mixed in properly for the fans to listen to at a later date. So
That'll be fine.
unfortunately, Coach Koetter was a little cut out, but we're going to fix that, and stay tuned to the podcast for updates regarding when everything will be synced up and ready to go. All right, carrying on.
Here we go.
Bryan Johnson, it's all you now, buddy.
It's your ship.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's hear it.
What do we want to talk about?
Does anybody notice when we start the podcast, the bar gets twice as loud every week?
Well, that's a good thing.
Must be us.
It must be us. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Bryan,
Yep.
what's going on, man? How have you been? What's it like being retired and now? I mean, just kind of working, or do you work just stay busy, like as a teacher? I mean, right? You're doing substitute
Right.
teaching, I guess.
Yeah, substitute teaching.
Yeah, okay.
When after we're done moving around from Washington or Virginia and Chicago, we came back to Boise because it always felt like home. My wife stayed at home with the kids at that time, and then she wanted to start working herself, so she went back to school. She's got her bachelor's in nursing here at Boise State, and then she got her master's. She's a nurse practitioner now, and she works full time while I stayed home with the kids. And our kids go to they're getting older now, but they started off going to St. Mark's Elementary School, and at that time they needed a little bit of help with middle school substitute pool, and they just asked me, it's like, hey, we need some more subs for middle school. Could you help us out? And so that's how I got started with that. And now it's kind of just been a every year thing, and I like doing it. I like seeing all the kids, and it's been a lot of fun for me. So I'm not just sitting around at home or getting complacent. Those kids definitely keep me on my toes.
Be honest, Bryan. Do you do it so you keep up with all the trends?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm trying to get my TikTok views up, and my Instagram.
See, you know more than we do.
I know my daughter, she's in 3rd grade, and she's trying to tell me about TikTok, and I'm like, I don't have time to learn a new social media platform, or I'm a YouTube guy. I'll be a YouTube guy forever now.
Yeah, it's nice having all these different platforms. But yeah, they keep me on my toes with the different sayings and dances and stuff. It's kind of fun. I really don't know what I'm doing with the social media stuff, but I like having fun with the kids.
So you still do this even though your kids are long gone out of this school?
Well, I've got one more left. He's in 8th grade, and,
Okay.
and St. Mark's goes up to 8th grade, so he'll be in high school next year.
And then are you going to keep it going?
I don't know. I might. We'll see if they could use the help, and I have a good rapport, I guess, with all the kids. We have a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing it.
We were talking before the show. You volunteer. What was the other? We were talking about what some of your other volunteer work, and you're working with a program. We were talking
Yeah,
about before the
yeah.
show. I'll let
Brian,
you talk
when you
about
talk,
that.
make sure you kind of get right up on the mic there, because people are having trouble hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better, right? That's good right there. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Thanks.
Sorry about
sorry
that.
sorry to interrupt
We'll
you.
make you a
It gets really loud in my headphones when I get close. So I
Yeah,
think that's
I know.
why I
Oh,
was.
he can turn
No,
it down.
that's
for
good.
You, yeah.
That's good to be loud in the headphones.
Okay.
People want to hear you more than us. But
Yeah.
yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, that's fine. So I was doing. I like to do a lot of volunteer stuff too. I was working with the food bank and working with my church, St. Mark's Church. But then I've also been working with Idaho Youth Sports Commission, and it's basically a commission, a group that was set up to help the youth in the Treasure Valley. There's been some trends all across the nation where the youth have been quitting sports for lots of different reasons. Maybe too much TikTok. Maybe there could be the coaches.
Esports.
Esports. That's a lot of different things to do besides sports. But the one thing that they've been focusing on is helping out the coaches in the Treasure Valley, because a lot of the youth sports are volunteer parents, and maybe they've never coached before, and they'll just kind of copy stuff that they've experienced, I guess, growing up themselves. And so with Idaho Youth Sports Commission, they partnered with Positive Coaching Alliance, and they help teach the volunteer coaches basically how to coach in a positive manner to really not, and it's not a way to like maybe cater towards the athletes or maybe baby them. It's to be more positive and encouraging. So we're not having kids quit sports in the age of 13.
Yeah, the end game is retention. Keep more
That's-
people involved
that's
for
right.
longer. Correct?
That's right. Not everyone's going to go off and play in the NFL, and there's a lot of things that you can learn through sports that are really good that you can use for the rest of your life. And keeping the kids in sports and having fun is just all around a good thing.
That sounds like a worthy cause there, and one that I've coached against a few guys, and I'm no angel myself. So if everybody could be a little bit more positive on the field and keep the kids a little happier, the kids never remember the positivity. They just remember when you yell at them. I believe.
That's right. That's
what
right.
I remember from my childhood, just being yelled like I don't want to be yelled at.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they're, one of the things that they work on. Say maybe you want to have like 10 sprints at the end of practice, instead of saying we're going to keep doing more and more until you get it right. Maybe say you're going to have 12 sprints at the end of practice, and then you do something right, you'll knock one off, and it's kind of like they earned a way to take away some of the sprints, but at the end you were still going to just do 10.
Yeah,
But then they're like, oh yeah, we earned it, and now we can only have to do 10. It's a different mentality, and it's a better way to get your players to want to play.
Yeah, my son plays baseball right now, and if they clean up quickly, they get a mulligan for the next practice when they have like a bat off or whatever they're hitting. Like if you clean your stuff up and sweep up here quick, and we get out of
there
here
you go.
quick, you get a mulligan. So yeah, little carrots like that,
Yeah,
and give and take,
right,
and
exactly.
Showing. I mean, a lot of coaches I see that are successful, they show the kids like I'm human, I make mistakes too, and I'm trying out here, I'm trying different things. The give and take instead of my way or the highway.
That's
type.
right. Yep.
Have you done any coaching yourself?
I did. I coached my middle son, Luke, when he was playing Optimus football. Coached him through that, and that was a lot of fun. Now he is a skateboarder, so he doesn't play football anymore, but he's into skateboarding. He loves
Looking
it.
for something more dangerous than football, huh?
Yeah,
Is
right.
that what it was?
Right. Skateboarding's always been his passion. He would try other things, and that's another thing with that other group. It's all about trying different sports, not specializing.
Yeah, not
And
committing when you're 6 years old to
yeah,
one
it's
sport.
like hey, try everything, have fun, and he always went back to skateboarding, and we knew that was his passion. And there's a few local skate shops that'll do skate tournaments here. They have the roads downtown. That
Yeah, they
skate
have the
park.
X Games qualifier there, right?
That's right.
I'm sure is that something he's into? Is he down there when that was going on?
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of fun to see the pros, because those guys that came in, it's like not just a show up and see who can go. These are actual pros that came in from all over the world, like Brazil and Australia,
Yeah.
all over the nation, and it's to qualify and make it to the X Games. So it's really inspiring, I think, to see. Um, Having my son being able to see those pros and say, hey, these guys can do it. Maybe I can do it too.
So Turner, you do some skateboarding down there, don't you?
Yeah, every time I get on my board, I tear my meniscus though, so I got to kind of cut back. I had to cut back.
Yeah, I thought you were going to come to the half pipe.
I know.
Backyard.
My knee's still healing up. I'll try to get there before it gets cold. Have you guys weatherized it or winterized it yet?
No,
No?
it's ready and
Ready
waiting
to go?
for you.
Okay, we'll
Waiting
have to
for
get
that
that.
meniscus.
We'll bring that. We'll bring the GoPro for sure, and
All right.
and put that up on the on the podcast website.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll definitely. Where you guys live about town?
Central Bench area.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't give out his address.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't asking for the address. I was just wondering.
And when will you be on vacation?
Yeah.
We want to know when you'll be away.
I'm just trying to see because my wife skateboards, and that's why I learned how to. I would go to the Fort Boise skate park, that gnarly one, and practice dropping in and blow my knee out a bunch.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
And then I finally figured that out. It's been a while how to, but I can go off like the 4-foot deck maybe into the transition. It's hard. Have you tried? Have you done much skating, Brian?
No.
No?
I thought about it, and then I just stand on it in the flat area, and then it's like, nope. It's a lot of fun to watch my son.
Yeah, it's fun, but it hurts.
You have a
for
full
sure.
size half pipe in your backyard, like the real.
It's a mini
The
pipe.
mini,
Oh, like a
mini
trainer
ramp.
Mini
one,
ramp.
okay.
Yeah, so it's 4 foot tall,
I
or
want-
4.5 feet tall.
I once knew a guy who put a pool in his backyard with no water or no way to drain water. Or it was just for skateboarding.
for
So
skateboarding,
yeah,
that's
I was
awesome.
like, "Can we swim in it?" He's like, "No,
No.
never." So, I don't know.
They don't have swimming pools in New York, John.
No, this was out here actually.
Oh,
This was in
okay.
Idaho.
They don't have very many out here
These
either.
are local. It's probably stuff of legend. Local skateboarders know where
Local
this
skate
pool
legends.
is. I don't know. I'm not a pro skateboarder either. I can't do that either. So
Yeah.
I can sit here and talk. That's what I'll do. So does your son travel? Like, does he go around to different competitions? Is he like fully committed to this? Like, his
We'll travel to like some of the more local shows. There's or contests. They do there's a contest up in McCall that we like to go to. That's a lot of fun. And then now they have a lot just at Rhodes. After they rebuilt the skate park down there. And then he did go to one in like Teton or Jackson Hole a couple years ago. So yeah.
is this the 8th grader? This is your.
No, this is my sophomore.
Okay.
So he's 15.
So you have 3 total.
3 kids. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Trying to get a lay of the land here.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. And so my youngest is a boy, Alex, and he's kind of your traditional sports. He likes soccer, basketball, wrestling.
All right.
But I think soccer is his main one. He really enjoys soccer, and he's really good at it too.
Yeah, at a certain age, something has to take over, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Will they force you kind of into or the competition forces you? Like, I'm going to play this all year because I'm sick of getting, missing
Yeah.
out on my reps. So
Yeah. Yep. So those guys, they all keep me really busy.
I know, 3. Yeah, you're right in the thick of it, it seems like right now. One out of the house, but 2, right? Yeah. And then it's going to get quiet, as they say. I don't know.
I know.
I have a 10-year-old, so I'm the opposite of most parents. I'm like, we're 8 years to go.
You got the
We're all-
countdown?
Yeah, we're all set. I mean, you're still going to ask for money. I get it.
Yeah.
But they're your decisions at 18.
Yep. That's
So-
right.
You're still broke. You still don't know anything, but they call you an adult now. So good luck.
Yeah, maybe when they're all out, Coach Harson will let me come over and help them out at Boise State.
Oh, you're gonna
What do you think? That'd be fun. I'd like that.
get on staff there.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's watching. He usually watches us before every game.
What do you say, Harson?
Oh, that'd be fun. Well, I know there's a lot of the ex Boise State Broncos. They coach local high school football. I know we've had. I guess there's like 4 of them. We had Rob Vine and Andre Banks. I know they're over at Capitol. Chuck Hayes and Jarrell Root are over at Timberline. Where they played last week. So it's kind of interesting to see, the ex BSU players giving their knowledge back, to high school players. I don't think high school football pays a lot, so I don't think it pays at all.
No, that shows you they're doing it for the love of the game. Football has given a lot of players some amazing opportunities, some really good experiences. So I think they are in return, giving back to the school, and hopefully they can help some of the other athletes and football players have some similar experiences and some of the good things that they've had.
Yeah, it's just nice to see the guys giving back their time, especially with that guys that actually played. I mean, there's always moms and dads willing to jump in and coach, but I mean, guys that don't have kids in school and just going there for like you said, the love of the game. So, are we okay over there?
There's for some reason the audio is louder going into the stream between my mic and John's mic. Then Brian's mic is coming through a little bit lower, which is weird because he's turned up higher everywhere on the board, and this is just another glitch. We'll work it out. It's just not going to be as live today as it normally is.
Oh, all right.
Semi-live.
Yeah,
that was Tech Talk with Turner. Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
I'm going to try not to focus on my failure here and just focus on the good stuff.
Just keep it going.
Yeah, just keep rolling, yeah.
So, not a marquee opponent tonight. What's the over-under for the attendance tonight? By the way, we're giving away tickets down here. If anyone is concerned, get on down here. Run on down. Ticket giveaway.
We have given away some tickets, raffle tickets. We'll be drawing one to win tickets to the Portland State game tonight.
All right, so back to my question. We'll start with Bryan. Over-under on the attendance tonight. It's kind of hard to get these people to stay for the second half, and especially against an opponent like this. You were at the game last week, right?
Yeah, I don't remember how many people were there last week.
I think that it was 31,000, but it seemed to me, I mean, this is probably the opponent, and the game was actually not a blowout. It's a close game, but we stayed till the end.
Yeah, so did we.
I mean, it didn't seem like the normal, they call it the halftime shuffle or whatever, where everybody goes out to the parking lot to get a drink and doesn't find their way back into the game somehow.
Right. No, I'm going to go with 30,000.
30,000 tonight.
Yep.
That'd be a good turnout.
I'm going to go with 22.
I'm going with 22. Well, are you going with tickets sold or people in the stands?
22,002 with the 2 tickets we're going to give away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We're going to put them over the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you all right down there? You got everything figured out?
We're doing as good as we possibly can.
All right. How many minutes are we into this thing?
We have 42 minutes elapsed.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, not bad at all.
And none of it's on live? Are we on live now?
Oh, we're on live, all right. Everybody's out there watching us, but they just can't hear part of the broadcast. We're still figuring out a few things. Apparently had it figured out, but not. Back to the drawing board again, they say.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Staying with us.
Yeah, they turned this over to the engineers to have the engineers figure it out. So I'm way out of my league on this stuff. But thanks for sticking with us, you guys.
I know. We should get one of
Make
those.
sure you click that subscribe tab and like the video as much as possible. Oh, somebody please leave us our first nasty comment in the comment section of this video.
No one will leave us any comments.
I know.
Right? Not negative, but like, are we doing a good job? Are we doing a bad job?
It's like they're
let us
just
know.
pretending that we don't even exist.
Yeah.
Cannot do that. We are not going anywhere. Well, it's really getting packed down here. I tell you what.
Look at this.
Jamming them in here.
They are.
All right.
Well, should we?
Yeah, let's carry on.
How much
okay,
further
what
do you
else?
want to go here?
What do we have on point spread, you guys? Do you ever you a wagering man there, Brian?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Would you?
Neither
just-
am I.
I'm
These
kind of like that old school, Saturday Night Live skit with the Chicago Bears, and they say Bears,
Yeah, Bears, yeah.
1,000, Eagles -2.
Oh,
So-
like Boise State a
Yeah,
million.
so I'm like
yeah.
Boise State,
Yeah.
100.
And the
whatever.
other team packs it up at halftime. Portland
Yep.
State packs it up at halftime and goes home because they were scared.
That's
Anyway,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
One
Yep.
of those predictions. I like it.
Oh.
I mean, I think.
On one note, Boise State's playing Portland State $400,000. I read that to play this game. And remember, in your career, in the time we were here in '99, we were that team that people would pay ton of money to come out and travel to play them. Like,
That's right. We had to try and get those travel games to pay for the rest of our season.
yes,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question.
the
Brian.
good old
Speaking
days.
of travel games, Florida State, we played earlier this year. Florida State's supposed to come here next year. Everybody asks this question as the same answer, but I ask you, are they coming or are they just going to send a check?
Oh no, they're coming.
They are.
I think they're going to come.
All right.
That's
Yep.
the first.
They got to redeem themselves, man.
Come,
That's what Oregon thought. That's what Oregon thought. Remember?
Well, I guess I should say they're going to try,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, I don't see why they wouldn't. They got to.
yeah, your answer
you think?
surprised me. You're the first. Every other person I've ever asked says no way.
No way. I guess I got a lot of pride. I don't know. It's like, man, if I get beat at home like that, we're going to go back, and go to their house and beat them there. That would be my mentality, I think. But
No, I like it. I think it would be. I mean, it would obviously be one of the biggest opponents to ever come here. I mean,
Yep. So what do you think?
what do I think about
Yeah. You think they're coming or not?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably the opposite of you. If I got whooped, and I had a bunch of money, I might just send a check and say, "Hey, take my ball and go home." But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's why. That's probably why you played a little bit longer than I did. I think they kicked me out in 9th grade. I think that was the end of that.
Well, at least you tried.
I did. I was a little undersized.
Yeah,
So.
yeah,
And
that's
also, talent-wise and size, undersized. So just, you can only do so much with what you got. So, Turner, you got any thoughts on the game tonight or no? I do know that before I'm going to cut you off. Before even we don't do stats here. Obviously, we don't do historical stats well. But if you want to listen to stats or game breakdown, there's plenty of other podcasts around.
There's a lot of them these days.
There are a
whole lot
ton.
of them.
One popping up every day.
Yep. That's what it seems like.
Easy entry. Look at us. We got one,
Yeah,
right?
we got
So,
in.
yeah.
It's going splendidly
It's
right now.
going, it's going amazing. But
Speaking of that, Brian, what was it like getting drafted in the first round, man? That
Oh,
must have been amazing.
Right.
first overall pick.
Yeah.
Well, when I ran, a 4.140 time,
That's pretty fast.
That's basically why I got drafted. No, I didn't. I was actually an undrafted free agent. So we'll make that clear.
I
Yeah,
do have a
yeah, I
question
know.
about you being an undrafted. Also, not only undrafted free agent, but position switch, correct?
Yes, that's right. So I was a linebacker at Boise State and switched to fullback in the NFL.
And how did that come about? Did they say you can come in and be a linebacker? Did they say absolutely not? You're here to be a fullback, or?
Well, I think it comes down to just one person. It was the recruiter that was here. Melvin Bratton was a recruiter for Washington, and he came to our practice, and he told me later a little bit about his visit. He didn't know what to think when he got here because there was a big Fish concert going on at the Pavilion.
Oh, I
and
remember.
there's VW bugs and vans and little fog machine, I guess you would say, going around. And so he didn't know where he was at Boise, Idaho, and with this Fish concert going on. And then we went to practice, and he noticed, he was here watching me and a few other guys, and he noticed that I was playing catch with Bart, the quarterback, and he was like, thought it was kind of weird that a linebacker would be playing catch with the quarterback, and it was probably because I played offense in high school, and I still like doing the warm-up catches.
Okay.
But he noticed that there was one ball that was a little bit high, and I jumped up and caught it with one hand. He was like, oh, wait a minute. That was a pretty nice catch. And then during the practice that he was here for, I had an interception, and just during practice, and then it was like, I think this guy can play fullback, and I think that's how it started, as me being recruited as a fullback, because they actually wanted me as a fullback the whole time, and I knew that before the draft. They thought they might be able to draft me last round or something.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant,
Yeah.
but it didn't work out. But I knew the whole time going in with Washington that I was being recruited as a fullback. Yeah,
And then you go in. I mean, obviously, if you're undrafted, they had a fullback already. There's a pecking order. So take us through. I've never walked into an NFL locker room, but take us through what those thoughts are, those emotions of like I'm.
Well, yeah. Now you're just all of a sudden the small man on the totem pole, and you see these guys that are giant men, and you think, wow, this guy's a giant defensive end, and then no, he's like the corner or a running back or something. It's
Oh, the
like
sizing
the
changes.
size wise
Yeah, yeah.
and the speed is just ridiculous. Um, but I think what really helped me get a position was that I had that experience at linebacker, and so I was could tackle well and played all the special teams. There's another running back. He was like a running back slash fullback that was it was kind of in between me and him for staying at Washington. And I played all the special teams and he didn't. So I feel like that helped me get my foot in the door with the special teams. And then 2 years later, I was the special teams player of the year for the team. And, I worked my way up. My goal every year on special teams was to get the most tackles. There were some games we played up at Buffalo, and we ended up punting more than we wanted to, but I got every tackle on the punt coverage. And so those were like my little goals that I would try and do, and that really helped me obtain a position and earn my spot.
Well, I do have a question. I think they call it the Turk, right? The Turk's coming for cut down day.
Oh, yeah.
So what's it like to? I mean, do you have like? All right, obviously you're undrafted, so at that point you're like, I'm still here, but. And I don't know how they did it then. Did they do the 2 waves of cut downs when you were in the NFL? They did they cut I don't know, the 3rd preseason game they cut people,
Yeah,
and then
yep.
they cut more.
Yep.
So you make it
Right.
through the first batch.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
still here. I
I'm
get
still
it.
here. And I think when you start worrying about getting cut is when your time on the field, your play diminishes. Because once you start thinking about some of those other things, you don't do as well in practices and stuff. So I never really thought about what I'm going to do if I get cut or what's going to happen when I get cut. We knew it was happening, and then the guy that was walking around handing out slips or usually every team has one guy that goes around and says, hey, we need to talk to you. Can you bring your playbook with you? So like when he starts walking around and you start, oh, I got to go ice or I got to go sit in the steam room. Maybe you just don't want to be around
Get lost.
when he's walking. Yeah, that's right. Just get lost. But my first year, I was actually on practice squad. So I was cut and then re-signed onto the practice squad my first year. And that
Is that like a bittersweet? Like we're gonna cut? Did they tell you that then? Like we're gonna cut you, but we may bring you back, or there's.
Yeah, they did tell me that they were going to cut me and put me on practice squad.
Okay, so it was a little.
So I kind of knew that. And then I did not redshirt when I was here at Boise State. And so my mentality was I'm going to use it as a redshirt year. This practice squad year, I'm going to use it as a redshirt year and really hone in on fullback, learn how to play fullback, learn all the ins and outs. And that's what some of the older vets at Washington would express, some of their advice to me as a young guy would be just worry about the things that you can control. There's a lot of different things with media or a lot of the distractions. Just worry about the things that you can control, and then it should work itself out.
Bryan, you mentioned your love of special teams, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Was that starting your freshman year here? And who was the special teams coach through your career at Boise State?
Ooh, I don't.
Or did they even have one when you were a freshman?
No. I remember Coach Hawkins was my special teams coach when Koetter was here.
Yeah, I remember he was like the special teams coach when we showed up.
Yeah.
But was he there before, or did they even have a special teams like coach?
No, they did. I
Necessarily?
can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Drawing a blank.
Oh
on
no,
who the
no.
coach
I'm not.
was.
I'm sorry to put you on. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I was just trying to think of like, was that just something you like to do, or was it a way, since you weren't redshirting, that you wanted to get on the field as much as possible?
I think it was a way for me to get more playing time. That's one of the reasons why I switched, because I just wanted to play in the NFL. So I was like, yeah, if I can play in the NFL doing special teams or playing fullback, I'm going to do it. That's
running.
what I want to do.
You like running as fast as you can down the field and then smashing into somebody.
Yep, hit him as hard as you
Yeah?
can. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it takes a special type of person to do that. I don't think I had it in me, and I didn't have the speed, or I think I probably would have knocked myself out several times. How's that treating you, by the way? Like, a career in the NFL and special teams. I mean, playing linebacker, you guys notoriously take a lot of shots, and And how's everything holding up for you?
Yeah, well, for the most part, I think fairly good. I
Right.
have taken quite a few shots. Tore my hamstring tendon. Um, had some knee
Ouch.
issues.
Hamstring tendon, huh?
Yeah, so it's semitendinosis. If you bend your knee and you feel that big tendon that pops out behind your knee, I actually tore that one off when I was in Chicago.
Oh, no.
And it was a pretty rare injury. There had only been 18 other people that have done it the way I did, and so they're still trying to figure out what the best protocol, the best way to fix it is. And basically, what they did is they just cut out the tendon and let everything else scar down. So that one hamstring muscle is kind of curled up
Oh,
on the
wow.
top of my hamstring area.
Is it like a permanent, kind of like a cramp, or does it feel weird back there?
Yeah, when I do like a leg curl, it does feel like a cramp. It
Oh,
feels,
wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I have a special teams question. They're talking in the NFL about eliminating the kickoff. I mean, they've been kicking this idea around. I mean, guys like you, and I know there's a lot of guys like this. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big Giant fan, so I watch a lot of guys make the roster based on special
Nobody
teams.
cares, John.
I know nobody cares. Watch a lot of, they, like you said, second fullback, 6 wide receiver. You're really on here to play special teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, your thoughts on they're kind of taking, not only a position away, a certain kind of player away.
Yeah, you're right. That's a really good point. There's going to be, less opportunities for guys to make the team if they do that, and that's a hard question. I know they want to protect the players. There's been a lot of talk about the injuries and CTE and things like that, concussions. So they really want to protect the players, but how do you do that without changing the game so much?
It's a balance of safety.
Yeah, I think it's a tough balance, and I'm glad I don't have to make that decision.
I don't think there's any right answer.
I like kickoff return. I think that was part of the game, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And but
What's your
we'll
biggest
see.
hit on kickoff that you can remember? Because I can remember I didn't do that. I didn't like hit anybody on kickoff, but there was a junior college transfer named Cam Merritt from Shasta College who was like a year older than me, and he would just make people disappear, like running full speed down the field. Do you remember it? Like, what's your most memorable punt or kickoff hit that you had?
Oh, I got one, but it's like a foggy memory, I guess, because
Obviously.
I don't know who we were playing or what the down and distance or scenario was, but I remember it was like one of the hardest hits I did on someone. It was on kickoff return, and I was making a block, and it was a legal hit. I like to lead with my head right straight into your sternum, back, where you could do that a little bit back in the day. And yeah, it was like they had to stop. You're out there trying to hit people hard, but you don't want to injure people. And I hit him really hard, and he didn't get up for a while. It was like a 10 to 15 minute wait for him to try and get up. So that was like one of my biggest hits. But then I also have a collection of about 10 face masks at home that have all been bent. So there have been face masks that I've bent throughout my playing. I've got a couple from Boise State, and then the rest from the Redskins. I had like the old school steel face mask. It's kind of thicker, but I started bending those a little bit too often, and so they had to get the stronger titanium ones and special order those ones in. In Washington, the Redskins, they would give them to me once when I would bend them. They're like, here, you want it? You can have it. But when I was at Chicago, they wouldn't let me keep them, and I don't know why.
Probably
Big
liability.
recyclers there.
Yeah,
Big recyclers.
just
It's probably a liability. Like there's proof
You
that
get
you
5 cents for every used mask you turn in.
it's like they're gonna bend it back and reuse it or what? I don't know.
Melt it down.
Yeah.
Man, that bending face mask, I've never done that before, for sure. No way. I can't even imagine. Like John said, that takes like a special type of player. Like the pin
watch it.
pin your ears back and go. No, I mean that in a good way. Like
Yeah.
I don't have the balls to do that, basically, is what I'm saying. You're very impressive career overall.
Thank you.
I do have another NFL question because
Okay.
I was looking over your stats and I was like, man, played a long time in the NFL. He never scored a touchdown. And then I got down to Chicago and I was like, wait, there's a couple touchdowns here. And I was like, first of all, like, was that something you keyed in on? Like, I'd like to just get one before my whole career's over. And like, what was the feeling like when you finally did get one?
Yeah, no, I knew my role, and there was actually one time where I scored a touchdown at Washington. It was in special teams. It was my wife's birthday, and this was the only time she asked, but she asked for me to score a touchdown. And so I was like, okay, well, obviously I'm going to try every game to score a touchdown, but, okay, I'll see if I can get you one. But there was a situation. It was kickoff coverage, and then the returner coughed it up. I picked it up and scooped and scored.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, though, our team thought that it was down, and we had guys running out onto the field. And then Fred Smoot hit one of the referees and knocked him over, and they threw a flag and it didn't count. So we got the ball where I recovered the ball, and they didn't count the touchdown.
So it sounds like Fred Smoot owes you an apology, Fred.
Yeah, jeez, man.
That would have been 3.
They didn't give it to you on a dive up the middle to convert the touchdown?
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
Hey.
man.
I knew my role. That was to block and get out on routes and kind of spread the defense because I could run routes pretty fairly decent, and so that I think that helped. It was kind of like a lot of teams have 2 tight ends right now instead of having a traditional fullback, and that's kind of what I would do. I'd be like a traditional fullback, but then I can go in motion and change up the defense and get them in different looks. So.
Is that how the touchdown came about? You want to just take us through it?
Oh,
Not for them, just for me.
Yeah,
This is just for
okay.
me.
So this was my first year at Chicago. It was Lovie Smith's first year being the head coach at Chicago too. And during the off season, we all knew that our first game was going to be Green Bay at Green Bay. And during the off season, coaches like to say, motivate the fans and stuff and say, we're going to get a win at Green Bay. And you know what? We did. So it was Lovie Smith's first year at Chicago playing at Green Bay. He got his first win as a head coach, and I got my first touchdown. It was Rex Grossman was the quarterback, and we were probably like 12 yards away, from the end zone. We're on the 12, and I basically just ran like a seam route, and they were in zone, and so I curled in. The linebacker dropped. I curled in right behind him, sat in the void, and then I caught maybe like a 7-yard pass, and then there was a safety that was coming up. We met right on the goal line, and I ended up winning, scoring the touchdown.
Nice.
So that was my
Nice.
first touchdown.
Nice.
You have that ball, obviously?
I do. Yep.
Nice.
Got the ball at home.
Perfect. Congratulations on
Yeah,
that
thanks.
touchdown. I have one stat at Boise State. I don't know if we've covered this on the show, but I was offensive tackle, so it's kind of rare for an offensive tackle to have a stat.
Yeah.
But it was during the Iowa State bowl game, the Humanitarian Bowl.
Nationally televised.
Yeah, in 2002, and there was a screen pass to David Michael to the left side, and he wasn't. I think Dinwiddie got rushed, so the pass got out early, and David hadn't turned around yet. It bounced off his back, and this linebacker was just about to grab it, and I grabbed it like a half a second before he did. He got tackled immediately for a 2-yard loss. Although, again, I don't think they gave me forward progress. I don't care what you say.
I've seen the tape. It's a fair call.
Way.
Either way, you got that stat.
You got
and that's
one
really
stat,
good.
yeah.
Nice. That's good.
I know.
You probably prevented a turnover too.
Yeah, I think so. I think that
They
was.
said his name during the broadcast.
Yeah, they-
very, very briefly.
That's-
Who caught it?
The
I don't
stadium
know.
announcer said my name. Yeah. Turner with the reception. Everyone was like, "Who?"
Yeah.
My claim to fame.
Well, now
That's in this podcast.
would now be a good time to take you through my Pop Warner touchdown because that's the only one I've ever scored.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm sure we don't want to hear about that one.
I don't think we've heard that story yet. Let's go for it, man.
Let's just, long story
The
short.
short story. Yeah.
We had to draw the play up we ran it 4 straight downs until I caught it. So 3 drops, and we're not going to blame the quarterback. All's well ends well. I caught it. You know when you're in
Touchdowns.
Pop Warner and they play in an 80-yard field, so you're not in the end zone. So I was laying on the ground pretty upset after my touchdown because I didn't realize I was in the end zone. I thought I was at like the 5.
Touchdown
I'm like
City.
laying there like, ah. My teammates were cheering. Very, very exciting.
Oh,
Hey, isn't
Bryan.
it amazing though that you remember these things?
It is
you know,
pretty
these things
amazing,
Growing
like,
up, these
this-
experiences.
Oh, okay. My greatest football play ever was in high school. If you want to go back even further,
Welcome back to the Turner Highlight Show.
it was it was my only game I got to
Talk
play
about
on
your
defense.
birth. Start with your birth. Let's start
at
where it all
Tribuco
started.
Hills, right? It was a playoff game at Tribuco Hills, and it was the only game I got to play defense because we had a D tackle go down. So they put me at end and bumped Paul down to D tackle, and the other end hits the quarterback when he drops back, and the ball squirts up, and I catch it out of the middle of the air, and ran 70 yards and got tackled on like the 20-yard line. Sat on the sideline puking for a couple plays, and then had to go back out on offense. But that was my greatest play of football ever. A
right.
70-yard interception return.
Yeah, nice.
It was the play of the year, I think. It was Southern California play of the year, voted by the CIF Southern section. No, I'm just kidding. None of that stuff. None of that stuff at all.
All right. This is not. We're not going to be here long if we keep
The
going
show's
over
gone.
best.
The show's gone way off the rails. I
Well,
know.
by the
but
way, we're running out of time. They're going to kick us out of here
Yeah,
soon. So
yeah, they will.
We should probably
They will do that.
wrap this up with some sort of a better story than
Oh, I have another question for Bryan. Bryan, who can you say you would like to see on the show? Can you give us a name or anybody that you think that would be a good fit for a phone call interview or to maybe in town that we don't know of that could come by?
Yeah, I think Quentin Michael would be a great guest.
That's a great, yeah.
Awesome.
Quentin Michael. Anybody else? Just throwing it out there.
You got Idaho guys. You got Ross Ferris. That's my time.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Ross the Flash Ferris.
man, yeah, I'm drawing a blank on anybody else. What about Dave Michael?
David, yep, I can get a hold of him. He's got that Rock and Armor physical fitness training business that he has. That's pretty
Yeah, he's doing really good with that.
yeah, okay. All right, then. I think we're going to wrap this up real quick, Bryan.
all right.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, I did. Thanks
Okay.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and maybe we could do it again sometime.
I'd love to.
All right. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Is anybody you want to say thank you to? Shout outs. I always do my family and wife or anybody you want to say hi to.
Yeah, you know what? I want to. This is like cliche, but I want to give a shout out to my mom. She's actually been battling breast cancer, and she's still going through the process of it. And I know next month is October is Breast Cancer Awareness. So if you guys can find a way to help with breast cancer awareness, or maybe do some of the walks or some of the fundraising that they can do, the people really use the funds, for that are raised. They can really use the help. She's been a trooper, really strong. She's a good example for my kids, showing how to face adversity and deal with things. So I'd like to give a shout out to my mom and say, stay strong. Love you, Mom.
Well, thank you. That was
Awesome.
awesome. We can do our part. We can
Yeah.
wear pink all next
Yeah,
month.
we can
That's
wear
right.
pink
we'll
all
wear
next
pink in October.
Good.
We
Let's
can
do it.
Show some awareness here. Real men do
appreciate
wear
it.
pink, so
That's right.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
scared.
John, you're next. How about you? Who do you want to say hi to before we cut it?
Oh, I'm fine this week.
Good?
I'm
Okay.
good. Hi. And people who know, they know. Hey,
Okay,
how's
as
it going?
always, this is the Bronco Alumni Show. It's brought to you by Suds Tavern. That's our only sponsor at the moment, but we're out here doing it. We're trying to get more. Add us anyway, inbox us, whatever you want to call it, DM, text message. Our phone number's on the Facebook page. Give me a call if you're interested in a wonderful ad on this show. What else is there? Also, as always, this show is brought to you by the 95 for 95 fundraising slogan we're using for the Paul Reyna is number 95. So we're trying to get people to donate at a minimum of $95 to the endowment fund that's in his name over at the Athletic Association, the Alumni Association, excuse me. Again, the information for that is posted on our Facebook page. Thank you very much. I'm your host, Jason Turner. This is Brian Johnson and the co-host, John Hannigan. See you later, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
See you
See
next
ya.
time.